Welcome back to the place where our crazy dreams seem just a little less crazy. Mark Haney is our Chief Dreaming Officer. He knows the right people, the right tactics, and the right philosophies to win. He is the entrepreneur next door, and this is The Mark Haney Show.
Welcome back to The Mark Haney Show, brought to you courtesy of Comstocks Magazine and California Backyard. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm joined by a man who was key to growing the Sleep Train Company and who is now chasing his own entrepreneurial dreams. Mr. Hernani Alves is in the house. How you doing, Hernani?
Doing great, thank you.
Thanks for joining me. Let's catch up with you. Give us an idea of your journey. Maybe if you can sum it up here in a minute or two.
So I wasn't the key to bring up Sleep Train. I mean,
You weren't the key?
We were surrounded by a tremendous amount of great people, and
Okay.
you've probably heard the story from Dale, from his dad. Surround yourself with great people, treat them well, make them successful. In return, they're going to make you successful. So we had an amazing team.
Yes.
But I started when I was 23, just wrapping up college. This wasn't my gig. I did not want to work for a mattress company. One, I did not want to be a salesman, number one. That was not what I went to school for. I went to school for international business.
Okay.
But I had a friend saying how great Sleep Train was. Come on over. And I finally did it. I started. And I go, this is only for 6 months, and then I'm out of here. I'm going to go do something else.
Really?
But I fell in love with the culture, fell in love with the people, and I fell in love with the product. It's not mattresses. It's not rectangles. It's really what people come in, they're not sleeping well. So you got to help them find better dreams. And you start focusing on that.
Well, you think about the growth that you guys had as a Sleep Train. You ultimately became the president of the company, but you got to create the right vibe, the right culture, the right customer experience. Like, are there certain keys that you guys fell back on besides surrounding yourself with great people? I mean, there must be some keys to making that happen in business.
Yeah, we learned that you could spend a lot of advertising, and you could spend more and more advertising and get more people in it. But truly, if they come in through the door and if you don't give them that experience, they're not going to buy from you. So we had a mentality. We shifted focus where guests would come into our store. We weren't concerned about finding the mattress that they like. We really changed it to where find the mattress that they love. And we would ask them, do you love this mattress or do you like it? And it's a different way of looking at it. They would go, no, I like it. I'm like, well, if you were to love this mattress, what could we do to help find that?
You're like, do you like it or do you love it, right? It's
kind of love
like,
means commitment.
Yes, I agree. And I can see it obviously was very successful. You guys have an incredible exit, and now it's created so much opportunity for the team around the Sleep Train. And you, as the president, have taken that experience, that opportunity, and you're turning that into a great entrepreneurial story. What are you doing today?
Yeah, so I would have never thought that a part-time sales guy would have moved up in the company throughout the years and worked with Dale's my mentor. So now what I do is a business consulting. So I help other businesses grow their business. And one of the things is winning the hearts of their people. And that's really what, as I kind of mentioned, you can spend as much money as you want in advertising, but if the people don't have their best interest on helping others and helping the guest that walks into their door, you're not going to be successful.
Well, you brought me this soccer ball, so you've won my heart right here.
There you go.
Oh, jeez, I dropped knocking my stuff around here. I brought he brought me this soccer ball, and it's signed by Hernani, and it says "Stay Rare." So I am sitting here going, all right, you're a really generous guy. How do you win the hearts and minds of your teammates? Besides, these gifts are obviously helpful.
Yeah. So it's accountability. And you're going, whoa, that's the naughty word, right?
Okay.
In business, people stay away from that. Okay. And there was actually a recent study from the Management Institute, and they interviewed 1,100 business executives and owners, and they asked them, how's your accountability in your company? Only 3% thought their accountability was good. So 97% said it's horrible.
They're spending all their time following up on their teammates instead of the work just get done automatically.
Exactly, and it's not getting done. It's not at the high level. They're not able to execute. So I help win the hearts of their people again and go through that. And it really starts with, I have 3 Ps. First P, personal accountability. It starts with you. We always reflect and go back and look at how they personally are doing. And it could be something that they're doing that they're not even aware of.
By the CEO or the owner of the company might, or the lead or the manager, he or she may not have personal accountability. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But they may think they may have that. So we reflect on how they conduct themselves at meetings and so forth. For example, we've been in meetings where you show up, it's 1 hour, and there's 20 different topics. And then we walk out of the meeting, and they ask me, give me some feedback. What did you think of that meeting? I go, wasn't very good. Is that how you normally do meetings?
Mark was checking his phone the entire time, and there was no structure at the end of the meeting so that we have takeaways. I mean, what do you do at the end of the meeting so that they walk away going, that was awesome?
Yeah, that's where you get that accountability where they actually had some feedback. Hey, we're having some issues here. We're having some delivery issues, or we're having some sales issues. How do we fix that? Instead of me being the leader kind of coming in and saying, this is what you do, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
You get the feedback from the team. You get them to commit. And you know about football. You get them in the huddle. This is what we're running. Ready, break. And then they execute and they come out of there.
Get them to commit. Commitment is my probably my favorite of the core values around HaneyBiz and the different companies that I built. It's been all around commitment. But how do you get that, right? So accountability, first P is personal accountability. What's the second
accountability.
P?
Second P is where we reflect is positive accountability.
Okay.
And it's and see, accountability equals love.
Okay.
And you're like, how in the heck does that work?
So you can't chew people out and get away with it. Don't do that.
Look at your parents. Who held you accountable at the beginning? And why did they hold you accountable?
They held me accountable for a while, and then I kind of got loose.
I know.
Yeah,
but
had
they
trouble.
loved you, right?
Yes, they did.
And you hold your kids accountable.
Yeah.
And you do that because you truly love them. And in business, it's the same thing. You hold your employees accountable because you love them and you want to help them. So you truly got to start finding them.
It is a sign of love by holding them accountability. That is part of your growing them. You have to hold them accountable.
And if your employees feel like you love them and that you show them that you're actually doing that with some positive accountability by catching them doing things right, by giving them some small wins.
I don't know if my employees think I love them. I hope they know I do. But like, how do you, it's like, do you know that I love you? How do you ask that question?
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to get the feedback.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's like
it that
awkward.
Way, they're probably
like I don't want a complaint right in
Yeah.
HR to HR. Like, do you love me, Alexis? No.
No. So when you do
or do I know I love you? I should say.
Yeah. One example when I work with businesses, when you do reviews, it's all about the company. It's all about this is what we have to do. How can we hit your numbers? You need to improve your attitude and so forth.
Okay.
You never really take a moment there to reflect, like, how am I doing as your leader? What can I do more of? And what can I do less of? And you keep it that way and you keep it very open.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, I need you to not jump on me every time, or I need you to show up to work, or I need you to check in with me once a month. Yeah. Employees want feedback. This is surprising. That actually they want feedback. They want to do better. They wake up every day and go to work because they want to be better and they want to go to that next level.
I agree. Okay, how about the third P?
Third one's performance.
Okay.
So it's your final one. So this is what wraps everything together. And you got to have performance at the end of the day. So it's winning a football game. It's about how many points you put on the
No doubt.
Put it on there. So it comes down to performance is what you permit, you promote. So if you're allowing them to continue doing some of the actions that they're doing, you're allowing it. You got to take the hit. It goes back to personal accountability. You should have held them accountable at that point. So they have performance metrics.
Well, let's talk about another P here for a second. I'm gonna bring up the word purpose. That maybe it doesn't have as much to do with accountability per se, but I know you have a story of being inspired by people other than Dale Carlson. Talk about why you are who you are today as a person.
Yeah, so it's my family. So Hernani comes from Africa. That's where the name. There was a famous singer there that my mom loved. Unfortunately, I let her down. I'm not that famous singer, and I can't sing. My kids, Riley, will justify that. So he doesn't have that. But my dad, I did not get along with him. I was not a big fan of my dad. He held me accountable very, very hard. So my dad went from 19 to Africa because that's where it was very rich in oil, very rich in diamonds. So he kind of wanted to start off. For 2 weeks, he didn't.
So at 19 years old, he's living in Africa.
He's living in Africa. He gets on a boat. It takes him 2 months to get to Africa. But this is like the U.S. at the time was just taken off. For 2 weeks, he's living poorly, not even having a roof over his head. Well, he builds a business and builds an empire, meets my mom, and then he's on top of the world. He's in upper middle class. They're traveling the world. In 1975, when I was born, they got the knock. And it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And what that knock was the guerrilla army telling him, get out, because if you don't, we're going to kill you.
Wow.
So can you imagine that happening today? Can you imagine someone tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock doing that at your home?
Wow, you got the world by the tail, and all of a sudden the knock comes. What happened?
So of course, he grabbed the kids. I was only 3 months old. We left. We stayed in the Red Cross for about 3 months. We finally left there, went to Portugal. Didn't have anything. I mean, the money that he had taken from the safe, that was it. The bank account's gone. Everything's gone. So, and he built it to that level. So we end up back in the Azores Islands. Azores Islands, if you fly from New York to Portugal, it's right in the middle Atlantic. There's 9 islands there. So he started another business with my mom, a restaurant, did well. And then when he's 50 years old, my sister, which is my oldest, is at that point 18 years old. And he's like, I can't keep my kids here. There's not much opportunity.
Yeah.
So once again, at 50 years old, he comes to the U.S.
Starts again.
Another business.
Wow.
He doesn't even know the language. So he went to Africa, doesn't know the language, started a business. In Portugal, he knew the language, but in the U.S., he didn't. He started 2 different businesses. Did a fish market, started a dairy business. But he would hold me accountable when I acted out and when I didn't follow through. And I thank him to this day. It took me until my late 30s, believe it or not. I'm kind of sad about that, but I respect him and my
Why
family.
did it take you so long to realize how important your dad was in your life?
You got to take a moment to reflect on who you are, kind of doing some personal histories, and there's things that happen. At the time, you think it's negative and that my dad was just being very harmful with me, but he was teaching me a lesson that I had no idea that lesson was taught. And then sometimes in leadership that happens. There's been times where I've had to let people go, and I tell them, I'm sorry, this didn't work out. I normally don't catch them off guard because we've been leading up to that. But when they leave, they come back and go, that was the best thing that happened to me. And I've got some mentors now, people that I still coach, that I had to fire, but they said thank you for holding me accountable, because now they're entrepreneurs. They just understand the level of integrity.
It's amazing where our life lessons come from. They start at these early ages, and they're even solidified through our parents as we age, through our mentors as we get a little bit older. I know Dale Carlson had a hand in there, but it sounds like your dad, and I know your mom, and the closeness that you guys share has been so important and from a purpose standpoint in your life, and hopefully giving you that confidence to do what you do today.
It does.
Yeah.
Dale has a big part. So I was very firm with my employees. I actually got a nickname. That was something I was not. I used to be on top of. I'd close deals. I was on top of the sales records, but I got this nickname from my assistant manager, Hernani. I know.
Oh, that's what the kind of accountability you drove through the sleep trade, huh?
No, I had to change that. I would not be where I would not have gotten where I'm at, and that's where I finally learned. And it was through Ken Blanchard, the book Well Done.
Yes. Catching
people doing things right. And then I started surrounding myself with good people, catching them doing things right, and it just really magnified. There's no way I would have ever moved up and become the president of the company with that Hernani. And I was actually embarrassed. I got rid of that quick.
Well, you have overcome that. You've had a tremendous amount of success. I want to thank you for sharing your story, giving us some encouragement, making us think about personal accountability and all the things that go along with creating that best experience. Coming up after the break, we will meet the entrepreneur who I say is bursting with wisdom, Buzz Holmesy. He's the owner of California Backyard. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Audi Rockland and DCA Capital. This is the Mark Haney Show.